yo. Jezza Chronic's live. Yo. 1 and 0, 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 1 1 1, 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 0. Nice. That's working. Hope you're having a good day. I just rang my mum's work. For like 18 minutes. That was an interesting call. Hopefully they're going to actually do something about it. Because this is a bit ridiculous. When your only family member is just like, pretty much a hypocrite, like full blown, like, fucking, nah mate, nah. I'll threaten to fucking the job. This is crazy. You can't just be left completely by yourself. That's just crazy, man. This is crazy. You can't just be left completely. Oh, that's weird. By yourself. Chasing Rabbits 2 Part 2 only got 361 views. Well, only. I shouldn't be complaining. But the other one's got like a fuck ton more. Let's check that out. Oh, I'll do another one then, okay? I've got some other drafts there saved. Like the sesh spot. Come to the sesh spot. You should check out the sesh spot. Come to the sesh spot. I might go during the day. I'm thinking about it. I've got no money left, so I can't buy coffee, so that's kind of shit. Unless I don't know, fucking, I'm at the point where I need to go to bloody cash converters and sell something. That's kind of cooked. Huh. Nobody wanted a pack of seeds, so fuck. No. Forgot what I was gonna do. You know what? Fuck it. I'm doing a mix, and I got the mini. What was it gonna do? Let me fucking click. Let's just listen to it again. About time off. I called my mum. That's what I was checked out. Double another one, okay. I've got some other drafts there saved. Oh, that's right. Like the sesh spot. The sesh spot. Come to the sesh spot. The sesh spot, mate. One of my 50 sesh spots. I've got heaps of sesh spots. Like seriously, if I had a fucking friend, a stoner friend that didn't really do much at all, just like wanted to go for walks and have sessions, that would be cool. That would be cool. Let's just go like to like one of the main public like spots and just session up, like just have a fat session up there. Just like Dutch out the whole fucking area with just weed, like white widow, fucking chronic smelling, that people would like be reminded of the old 90s and they'll be like, holy shit, that dude actually has some real weed. They're like, yeah, motherfuckers, have you got like a room I can live in? Have you got like a fucking backyard? Have you got like a fucking house I can just fucking have, cunt? Because I'm an owner. I'm an OG. I just wait for the fucking cunts to die. Oh well, go hard tip the Muslim husband. My mum's Muslim husband is actually killing her quicker with a diet. Is that wrong to say? Then I'll get my inheritance quicker, and then I can do what I need to do quicker. But she's just a bitch, mate. I'd bring the word. If I don't hear back from her today, or the work, like, that's just some really wrong shit going on. I don't really see why the daughter can't live in the house. What the hell's with that? If that's even real. If it's even real, which I don't even think it is. You would have guests in it. Maybe I'll just sit out the back the whole time while your guests are there, just like watching. Broken promises, man. She told me she was gonna buy this shed to put like all my stuff in, this little like mini bike shed to put all my stuff in, and she was gonna convert the pool, this old pool area, into like a veggie patch for me to grow stuff. The situation with the planters, I think I've been talking about that for like a while. And then she just started putting 4 planters like out the front, one by one. Cookery, mate. Actually, no, I'm having fucking mini billies. Something strange is happening underneath Hollywood Donut Factory. Or is that more of that Sydney Sweeney shit? I don't care, really.
LA's secret celebrity tunnel. Now, this Chateau Marmont, tons of secrecy. This is...
I'm just like, whatever at the moment. Real glitch, yeah, whatever. Real glitches in the Matrix. Someone dropped in and out, I think. It was kind of weird. It might have been me. It was just delayed. Got the Mini with a massive cone. I'm so irritated. Not like, yeah, fucking people, mate. Hip-hop supposed to sound. Why would she offer me the fucking fridge? Why would she offer me the fridge, like, when I move? Like, that's just weird. And doesn't ask where the rent money is, or where's the rent money? Doesn't even ask. Yeah, because you know you're fucking ripping me off. You know you're ripping me off. And if you arc up about that, I'll just take, like, tenancies and be like, hang on, this isn't even worth this. Which I'll be doing anyway. I don't even think I could talk to her. I tried like real nice yesterday, and she just hoovered and attacked. It was a hoovering thing. Seems like I'm just cursed. It is. I'm just cursed, man. Like even that support worker thing. Like I don't even want to ring it back. Like the dude sounds dodgy as. It's just like for fuck's sake. Like I can pick up from people's voices and everything. Cheers. Five signs you're a chosen one. Did I watch that? It's pretty full on through this. Just get so milked up. Good one, Jezza. Arm in your chin. I actually noticed my arms are getting a bit here, just from holding them up, holding the staff. Wow. That was something. That was an experience. I was like 4 claims in one. Like those little claims. Wow. What we don't do. Does anyone want to fucking do anything? Like fucking hell. I'm not really good at like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm at that point again. But I may be willing to trust someone maybe this time. Because I like had offers for help from people last time. And I couldn't, I don't know, I was paranoid. Thought I was being targeted. But now I know who I'm being targeted. Probably, definitely now. Like it's this area. There's probably people that used to target me that don't anymore. And have seen who I am. And maybe that could work now because this is cookery again, once again. Anyway, I'm fucking stoned as fuck. What is happening? in the world. See if we can find something positive. The best EDC lock tool ever. I don't need to lock fuck. I don't need to pick locks. I don't need to do that. That just gets you in a whole bunch of trouble looking at that shit. I'm already into enough shit. Folding fence climbers? Man, the shit that it's showing me now. Where is everybody? Fucking hell. What's this dude doing? What the fuck is that? It's all in like Asian. I'm getting weird things all in Asian, man. Actually, no, I'm curious. He's doing a nice test. Anyway, curious about something. That's all. Hope you're having a good day, whoever's here or not here, or dropping in and dropping out. Hope you're having a good day. What was I doing today? Yeah. No pace? Fine. Okay, alright. Wow. 320. 360. It's a bit cray-cray. Yeah, fucking. That's weird. CPM 3V, man. Far out. Far out. Anyway, back to YouTube. Anything in honey? The end of the government. The Transitional period, part 2. What the fuck?
Welcome out to the range. Today is part 2. We're going to call it the transitional period of our 3-part series and the end of the government as we know it. Before we get there, the joke is, at night, gardens are protected by little ceramic men with red hats. That's a little known fact. Ba-dum. Welcome out to the range. Today is
part 1.
Video 1 of a 3-part series dealing with your 72-hour pack and the end of the government as we know it. Specifically, we're going to talk about the first 72 hours today, and the next few videos, the longer process. Before we get into the more scary stuff, why do dogs make poor dancers? Because they have 2 left feet. Ba-dum. For prey, shit hit the and show to prey for Tia Twat. First, go watch our videos on this topic. Paul did a 2-hour top 5 list for Tia Twaki or world without rule of law. Really, it's without rule of law. For some reason, I always want to ask you a WWROL or a shit hit the fan. You name the acronym. That's what we're talking about. We did, the whole crew put our packs out here on and showed them all off to you, what we carry in just the packs. Paul and I did a couple follow-up videos to that, a long version and a short version of what systems he recommends you put into your 72-hour pack and why, and some transition and so on. Today's video is strictly about the first 72 hours. And I'm going to add a few little things in there that I haven't seen in other videos. Specifically for me, I get hung up on, I've got 5 firearms, all the same caliber, which is almost impossible to do, given the type of platforms we're going to talk about. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 long guns. In Paul's long version, he talks about trucking across the country. Well, I'm not going to do that. Most of us aren't going to do that with our family. And in our recent truck guns video, a lot of the comments said they only carry their EDC with them. So let's pretend for a minute you got your 72-hour pack that you put in the truck. You're not too worried about it being stolen, so you don't take it in and out. It's there. You go to and from wherever you're going with your EDC. You don't have a carbine with you. As we know, you may or may not be at home when the hurricane hits, the snowstorm hits, the earthquake hits, the wildfire hits, whatever.
I need snacks.
You cannot run back home to get those other 4 guns. You're stuck with what you have. Maybe the wildfire's coming, you gotta grab what you can, your birth certificates, all your paperwork, your wife, your kids, your EDC. You may or may not have time to go grab the other 3 guns or 4 guns, load them in the truck or whatever you're driving with, and take them all to the evacuation center or wherever you're going. If you get in a motel, you're doing better than a few people. When you get to the evacuation center, probably not the best idea to walk around like this with an AR strapped to your back. If you leave it in your vehicle, then you have the potential, like a lot of you point out, of it getting stolen, which is why you don't carry a firearm in your vehicle all the time. A long gun specifically.
I wonder if this would be alright.
So it's almost impossible to secure all those. To carry enough ammunition that you think you might need versus 2 magazines for your EDC or an extra spare magazine for a bigger gun becomes weight bearing. And again, you cannot secure it all. These are all little things that
Pack 'em
people
up.
that like me to get on here and say, these are my top 5 guns, never address or give ideas about, at least in the videos I've seen. So that's our
It's got a bunch of
different
shit
take
here.
why this is going to be longer video. So what is going to be in your pack? Well, depends what you think is going to happen, whether it's grizzly bears, zombies, whatever, okay? You may want to prepare yourself for those situations and the winter or so on. What we're talking about is what you're going to have with you or on you in the first 72 hours, provided, of course, you're not stuck at home or you can get to where your supplies are and all your stuff to make you secure. So this is what goes with your 72-hour pack. Now, you're probably not going to have something like this 4-pound hardcore hammers,
This title, bro.
a little bit shorter than the normal axe,
End of the
or this
end of the government.
hardcore hammers, baby Pulaski. But
End of
I
the
like to
government.
keep something like this in my vehicle
72.
and even strapped to my pack, because a good cutting instrument cannot be overlooked in the Northwest when trees may be down, blocking roads, you name it, right? Now, this K-bar large K-bar is be overlooked in the Northwest when trees may be down,
You're
blocking
gonna go
roads,
K-bar.
you name it, right? Now,
Cheers.
this K-bar large K-bar is a little overkill. So could my K-bar BK9 be a little bit overkill. This is a Wild Turkey brand. Of course, that's overkill. This, to me, is the original size K-bar, and it did look like, just have to brag a little bit, this is a small, but they were the same color 40 years ago, so it's been around a bit and used a lot. If anybody out there is from K-bar, give me a call. And then on one of my duty belts, I have the small K-bar, also stamped USMC. I have another hardcore hammers. Their camp hatchet makes a good hammer on the backside for zombies or anything else. A K-bar, kind of tomahawk. It's very thin, not an axe. Paul's weapon of choice was a tomahawk. He loved these. He could throw them really well. He did not ever recommend throwing them. He did recommend a tomahawk, though. It's just with his mountain man stuff he used to do. He loved those. Just another tool that works really well as a weapon also is my double bit hatchet from
Zombies,
Council Tool, and a Swedish-made and forged
Zombies slash
all of which
hashtag
do very, very well
gang stalkers.
for multiple things, from clearing brush,
How many
clearing
jabs,
roads,
bro?
to attacking zombies
How many
or anything else.
How many jabs, bro?
4-legged, 2-legged, doesn't matter. I have a wide selection of an EK and other K-bar, genuine double-edged fighting type knife,
He does have this. Okay.
and an old-timer small hatchet with a knife hunting setup. So you don't have to have combat type stuff. Obviously, this hatchet, if you wanted to use it as a weapon on 2- or 4-legged predators, would work super, super well. This would work super, super well. Hardcore hammer sit stuff that's razor sharp. They even send a Band-Aid with it just because. My thoughts are that at the refugee center, at the gymnasium, at wherever you're taken or evacuated to for safety, etc., a lot of people are going to be scared. Now, depending upon what part of the world you're in, what part of the country you're in, wearing a rig like this, everybody might be doing that. I can tell you there's a lot of places that there are not anybody to be doing that. So in those circumstances, just make yourself feel better, and so you know you're armed and you can take care of things and fight to your bigger guns or firearms. Let's start with the smallest pocket pistol I have.
Okay.
22 Magnum,
Do
North
toast
American Arms,
sandwich or
5-shot, single-action revolver, pocket pistol. 25 auto, Beretta 21A, 8-shot. Just did a video on this the other day. Very nice handgun, functions really well. 22 long rifle, pocket pistol. It's the Ruger LCP2. As a safety, is very nice. Slip in your pocket, just like this. Nobody's paying attention, nobody knows, but you have something. Heck, if you have the money and can do so, get a couple of them. Maybe get a third one, stick it back here, okay? Now, the one advantage to being a fat guy is I wear looser clothing. You can't see the firearms as nice as you can in those. Everybody wants to wear yoga pants all the time. I do yoga. That's no insult against yoga, just saying. Now, this is a 32 auto. It is bigger than the 25 auto, but it's still a pocket pistol. On the top end of the pocket pistols, you have Ruger's LCR in 9mm Luger. Comes with with the moon clips. Sorry, to shoot the 9mm 5-shot. So you don't gain anything over it. Smith & Wesson makes one very similar. It is, so you guys know, empty. Double action only. You don't have any selection. It's just a revolver that nobody's going to hang up. You can shoot it from your clothing. Very, very, very nice option. I prefer the Smith & Wesson myself in 38 Special with a shrouded hammer, so you have an option of single action if you wanted it. This one is the airweight, so it is aluminum frame, super lightweight. Again, goes in your pocket, doesn't snag. Paul has a video on that, shooting one like this out of a pocket. When you get to the place and you have one of these in your pocket, you feel more secure. You can protect yours and your own. Okay? When you're out and about, maybe not walking around in a crowd, or you're going on the road back to your house, now that they've let you back in these areas. And we're talking, in this case, natural disasters or fires, things like that. Okay? Then you can have your full-size firearms. Now, in Paul's top 5, and almost everybody's top 5, they recommend a standard capacity, 15 rounds or more, 9mm. This isn't 9mm, but it is it's 9mm. It's a compact carry, okay, with a 15-round magazine. They recommend something like that, your Glock 19s. And when I say name brands, it's just name brands I know. You can take them as a recommendation or not. I've used Glocks. I've used other brands. I don't use anything that I think is crap and doesn't work. The whole point about all this, it has to work, and you have to be able to hit with it. Now, for all those that think nobody can hit anything with one like this, I will tell you, the other day I watched somebody from 35 yards offhand keep on that small steel back there, all 8 rounds with that firearm. 40 yards, that firearm, 25 auto. It can be done with enough practice, and the bullet's not just going to bounce off somebody. Okay? And again, as Paul demonstrated in one of his videos, it's better than a sharp stick. A lot of people don't like revolvers anymore, but if a revolver is what you have, and a revolver is what you can shoot well, then that is probably the gun you need to have in your 72-hour pack, or somewhere that you can get to easily in this type of emergency. I've got mine set up on various cartridge belts here, or gun belts. This one's on a more modern gun belt. This is not a 9mm, it's a Glock 22 and 40 Smith & Wesson with a 1,000 lumen light on it and night sights on top. Across the front of the table in no particular order, we have a 10-shot 22 4-inch barrel Smith & Wesson. We have our Gerson 15-round magazine, 10mm, 6-shot Model 17 22 long rifle Smith & Wesson, and a very ancient, it's even got a pin barrel for those that know what that means, 38 Special Model 15. It's just like the one Paul had. This one my father carried as a duty weapon for many years. So it's special to me. It works just like it did the day it was new, probably better than the day it was new. And on the extreme side, we have a 44 Magnum Smith & Wesson Model 29 with a 6-inch barrel. All of these will do the job that they need to do. It will make you feel better. I would recommend that if you have the ability to, you carry, this is my EDC or one of, but I like to carry this in a pocket with it every once in a while as a backup to that firearm. Remember, securing your equipment when you're at these evacuation places is going to be a major issue. Maybe you'll have to abandon your truck, or not abandon it, but park it several miles from where you need to walk into your house, and you don't want things you can't replace left in that vehicle. And I say truck because that's just what I happen to drive, but your vehicle. Next video, we're going to talk about the transition period, as Paul calls it, between that first bug out and what happens at the end of no help's ever coming. What did we learn from today? We learned that most likely you're not going to have a carbine with you when bad things happen and you're away from home. If you're at home, totally different situation and world, totally different concerns. We haven't even talked about that. We're talking about companions to your 72-hour pack and either fighting to get home or grabbing your crap and going to an evacuation shelter someplace else before that transition of without rule of law or Tiatwaki fully kicks in. So before the government completely goes away, and we're hoping they will come to help us. I was going to say save, but we don't hope that. We're going to save ourselves. They're going to come help get trees out of the road, bigger stuff. Okay, with that, here are my top 2 handguns and top 2 tools in the everyday carry category, and that is my Springfield Hellcat 9x19 with a compensator, with really nice iron fixed sights, with a red dot on top, backed up by 2 15-round magazines, two 13-rounders, and the original flush fit 11-round magazine. My pocket pistol of choice is the 25 Auto Beretta 21A. It's got 1 8-round magazine in it, backed up by 3, so for a total of 24 rounds, which is pretty good in your pockets. And then the next size up, not really concealable, not definitely an EDC, but something definitely worth fighting in the dark and so on, is my Glock 40 6-inch barrel, 10 millimeter compensator, red dot, suppressor height, night sights, all taken over and covered by a 1,000 lumen flashlight. Yes. And right here in front of me, I have 4 more magazines. I got 1 in the gun, 1 up here, all 15-round magazines. That should do okay. I have a few more at home that I haven't even taken out of the package. My knife of choice will not be a surprise to anybody that's watched me for very long. That is my USMC K-Bar original type reproduction, because the top up here, this part, came from the factory sharpened like the originals. The only difference between this one and the true originals, it has a pin through the pommel. So sharp, you gotta be careful not to cut the sheet. And it holds an edge. My goodness, this is a knife. And then my tool of choice will be this Hardcore Hammer Camp Companion hatchet, if you want to call it that, or baby axe. A little bit smaller than a boy's axe. Anyway, great hammer on the backside for hitting all kinds of things, and a very, very sharp face cutting surface. With that, always practice, know your equipment so you can handle it in the dark, find it, you name it. Know you can hit with it. Because this is the stuff you're going to trust in the emergency, so you're always the best prepared for the worst case situations.
That's part 1. Now we can do parts. They can do part 2.
Welcome out to the range.
They did. 2 hours
ish. And when it's obvious to everybody, the government is gone, the emergency services, everything else is gone, and now we need to figure out how to survive long term, how we need to reorganize. Whatever you want to know. Stephen King's The Stand, where a giant flu wipes us all out, or zombie apocalypse, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Government's gone, and we need to figure out the next step. That's going to be in the protracted end. Anything I say today is just my thought process to get you thinking about what you want to plan for and how you're going to organize yourself. But let's stay with shorter term, we hope, natural disasters, hurricanes, wildfires, tornadoes, whatever. Okay. So in our first video, we talked about just having maybe your concealed carry EDC, couple tools, your bag, and you got home. In this video, we're going to talk about now that you're at home, how do you protect your own? How do you take care of that? And we'll get to the firearms and why I'm dressed like this later in the video. But you're going to need, when now you're home and you're trying to figure out what the next step is, you're listening to the radio, you're trying to figure out if emergency services are ever coming to you, how long it might be. And as this goes on, you're going to start running out of fuel. You're going to start running out of food you have stored up, unless you're very few out there, myself not included, that have packed for 20 people for 4 years, and you have all this stuff, okay? But for the rest of us, we got enough for a few weeks, and then we might be hurt. So how do we see the progression of this, and what are some of the things in our transition period that are going to happen, I believe, that are going to cause us to need to start defending ourselves, defending our families, and our own equipment. One of them is going to be what Paul labeled and came up with, and I haven't heard anybody else say this, crisis-created criminals, or triple C threats. And those are people that normally wouldn't be criminals, but they didn't plan quite as good as a lot of the rest of us. And so now they are desperate. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever.
42.
That they haven't had reliable water. Maybe they haven't had toilet paper of all things, right? Food, you name it. And now they want to come get yours. But you don't want to give up yours. They didn't plan to barter anyway. And now we have a problem. They're wanting to steal your stuff. They're trying to sneak in. They're maybe just coming up and demanding it. And you need to defend yourself. Now, only you can figure out how that's going to be. I'm not going to tell you you have to have a firearm or bear spray or anything else. And only you can figure out at what point in this whole thing that you think we're now rule without law and that you don't have to answer for your consequences. A few people I talk to are saying that at some point we probably will have to answer for our actions during these times. They go so far as talking about documenting things. If we're to that point, I don't think maybe you need to, but the more documentation, the more body cams, the more crap you have, the better, right? Okay. The next thing is going to be that the government that you think is coming to help you, that the radio says is coming to help you, doesn't ever show. The information we're getting from the government, or the lack thereof, so you quit hearing sirens. You quit hearing anything about, they're close. You don't see any of them. Nobody's flying over. The radio's gone dead. And it's pretty obvious that the government, and when I talk about government, I mean local all the way up, has, for lack of a better term, abandoned us to our own devices. Or they were so overwhelmed, it doesn't matter why, but they're gone. And then the third thing in this transition period I think is going to happen is now that people are starting to get worried, you have your crisis-created criminals, the level of protection, help, etc. from anybody outside of our own is gone. You're going to have the natural predators depending upon where you live. I keep going back to thinking about all the things I don't want to deal with in the Everglades. Boas and alligators, bad things, right? If you're in grizzly country, grizzlies. If you're here in Oregon, coyotes maybe. Either way, natural critters are going to be coming back into what's left of your city. They're going to be getting what food they can get. They're not going to be afraid of us. And you're going to have to deal with even now feral dogs, or dogs that have been abandoned by their people, and they're running the streets. And those of you that have been in third world countries or war-torn countries know what I'm talking about. I've never been there, but I've heard stories. They're just wild dogs running everywhere that cause problems. So you're going to have Fluffy, the next door neighbor's dog, at some point get hungry and go on the prowl. When you start seeing all these things, hopefully you've thought about this beforehand, might be a time that you want to really gather up your neighbors, start making those long-term plans. Maybe it's this point where, like Paul would say in his videos, you want to truck on out. I'm not trucking anywhere. My wife's not trucking anywhere, and I mean walking. So we're going to have a different plan. Maybe this is where you and your friends that, said, hey, we're rendezvousing at Joe Bob's because he's got the best place to defend. Maybe that's what you want to do. And that is, to me, one of the biggest questions. Where, and the timing has to be perfect, at what point in time, especially if you're traveling a long distance, do you say, we're done here, we need to go? And as we're talking about this, I want to point out a couple things that dawned on me after all these years of thinking about crap, that I went, aha, we got bigger problems than that. So, we have, in Oregon, we got the Coast Range, which gets very little snow comparatively. The Cascades, which is a good mountain and 4,800 feet past elevations, which is nothing if you're in Colorado, I get it, and other parts of the country. But unless you run plows over those, you're not getting across them in the wintertime. Unless you got a snowcat or some special vehicle, you're not walking over those mountains. You're not horse riding over those mountains, which is why in the 1800s, people didn't travel. Remember the Donner Party? You don't want to be them. Our country will be cut off on various sections when winters hit and we don't have government agencies to plow the roads. We don't have fuel for those vehicles. It's going to shut a lot of this I need to escape down. Maybe you need to think about that before the government's gone, and if you need to go east and or west, how you're going to get there, depending upon the time of year. Fortunately for most of us, natural disasters and so on are regional to the regional, which means they affect the East Coast, but if you come far enough west, you get out of those problems. So it doesn't take very far, comparatively, to get away from the disasters where you have services and so on again. Now I get that maybe your roads are all flooded out. I get you don't want to just abandon your house. But that might be what you end up having to do if, for whatever reason, nobody can come help you where you were. Then it gets back to how big is the disaster. With all that said, let's talk about some firearms you may want and why I'm dressed like this today. When you get to too many predators,
Favorite. Pretty sure not.
What narcissists think of you when you walk away. So you've been through all of this stuff with the narcissist. They put you through so much, undermined you, took you for granted. But what happens when you finally walk away? In their minds, it's like, how dare you? You are going to regret it. Because in their minds, they are the best thing since sliced bread. They don't believe that you're ever going to find anything better than them. They think that you're selfish, ungrateful. After all they did for you, and that's how you repay them. Because they see their breadcrumbs as being so much. They minimize everything you did for them. They minimize all of the horrible things that they did to you. And so that's how they're able to see things in this distorted way in their minds. But in their minds, you are the one who is arrogant. They look at it like you think you're better than them now. But of course, they've got to big themselves up. They've got to see it as though they can replace you in an instant. As though you're nothing special. You're irrelevant. Because they're very paranoid. They're seeing it as though someone else is manipulating you. Someone else is in your ear, pulling you away from them. You can't ever think that you could muster up the courage to leave them. They don't see you as strong. They have to see you as weak and foolish in order to satisfy their ego and their need to feel important. But yeah, many of them are very paranoid and delusional. They make up all of this stuff in their minds to justify what they've been doing or what they're about to do to you. And that's how you often see these things coming out of nowhere. Because all of this stuff is playing out in their minds. As though you think you're better than them now. As though you're going out of your way to take revenge on them. You're deliberately trying to do them wrong. That's how they're taking it. They're delusional. And that's why they react in the ways that they do. So this is what the narcissist thinks of you when you walk away. What narcissists think of
I came back. When I came back last night, just like broke down. Tears and shit. I just went to bed. And I woke up at midnight. What was that the night before? I don't know what's going on. Eggs on toast is good. I think I went to bed by 7 o'clock. Just like this. Yeah. But at least I'm kind of like not hungry anymore. Like as if my phone call was going to do anything. As if they're going to call me back.
In this video, I will show you how Robert Card, the 2023 Maine mass shooter, was covertly harassed, tortured, and pushed into committing his violent acts. He was a victim of gang stalking, and his brain damage shows evidence that he was assaulted with a directed energy weapon. The false label that he was a mentally ill schizophrenic concealed the evil being done to him. He was a targeted individual. Gang stalking is a form of community mobbing, organized stalking, and organized harassment combined. It is hidden by smearing the victim as mentally ill. It is the targeting of an individual for revenge, jealousy, sport, or to keep them quiet. It's widespread and growing. Some describe this harassment as a psychological attack that can completely destroy a person's life, while leaving little or no evidence to incriminate the perpetrators.
An update now to that breaking news story out of Lewiston, Maine, just north of Portland. Authorities are working on an active shooter situation at 3 separate locations. Authorities now say there are more than 10 dead with dozens more injured. The shooting began at a local bowling alley, followed by reports of shots fired at a local bar and a Walmart distribution center. The Androscoggin County Sheriff's Office posted these photos to Facebook. They say this is the suspect they're looking for, and he remains at large tonight.
Officials confirming at least
It's a channel
18
called
people have been
Alternate
killed and 13 others
Homesteading.
wounded after a heavily armed gunman opened fire at 2 locations in Lewiston, Maine. Authorities releasing these surveillance images showing the suspect, 40-year-old Robert Card, as he entered a local bowling alley that was hosting a youth night for a kids' bowling league.
Out of nowhere, he just came in and there was a loud pop. Thought it was a balloon. I had my back turned to the door.
Police say Card then
Hour and 20 minutes. What the fuck? Cookery. Don't know where my salt vape's going. This is the other one, I think. Here's the code. Anyway, need to find that. Maybe having a good day. I didn't want to say that shit. It's failed in the stream. Just missed it.
What it is. Everybody. Welcome to
That
the
has
big
33
show.
likes. What the
Wow.
fuck?
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, August. Oops, it doesn't even say. My computer is not functioning 100%
So I'm
properly.
going to be the one that
That's why my camera
takes it
isn't
over
the best
33.
camera. I don't know why. I have an old computer, so just having to deal with it. I've restarted it
Yeah, there
many
you go.
times.
Bill and Hillary Clinton sub Onade. Onade. Can't even spell that. Can't read that. In Epstein probe. I thought Trump pardoned them or whatever. What the fuck? Trump threatens to federalize DC over some shit. Just There's nothing I want to watch. I'm gonna cruise. People just drop in and drop out. So maybe next time. Maybe next time. Please stay magical. Stay toasted. Jezza out again. Oh.